Welcome back to another edition to the Root to Rising podcast. I'm your host, Christine Hummel, and I'm excited to have a graduation edition of the podcast for the May and June timeframe, as we have many women that are graduating high school or college. Today we have Kate, Sam, and Megan with us that are recent high school graduates that are going to share some of their themes about graduation and college process. So we'll start with Kate to get to know each of you a little bit. First of all, to all three of you, thanks for jumping on the podcast and doing the show. But Kate, why don't you start and tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I just graduated from Lake Zurich High School, and this fall I'll be going to the University of South Carolina, and I'm studying psychology, and I'm super excited about it.
Awesome. Sam?
My name is Sam. I also just graduated from Lake Zurich High School, and I'm going to University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and I'm studying chemistry with a plan to do something pharmaceutical sales related.
Megan?
And I'm Megan. I also graduated from Lake Zurich High School, and in the fall, I'll be attending the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and I'll be majoring in engineering on the exploratory track with hopefully getting my minor in Spanish.
Awesome. So it sounds like you all have your colleges picked out. It sounds like you have your majors picked out. So I'm going to spend a little bit time there. Okay, so Kate, let's start with you. So you have a degree in psychology, or you're going to get a degree in psychology. How did you come up with choosing that as your major?
Junior year, I took AP psychology, and some classes I'm really not that interested in, but AP Psych, it was a class that I actually wanted to learn, and I was interested in the topics we were learning about and all the studies, and that really interested me. So when college application process started, I was thinking, I'm not really sure what I want to do exactly. I kind of want a major that is more broad and that gives me opportunity to work in different environments or with different types of people. So I thought psychology would be the best fit for me.
And how did you pick the school you were going to? How did that process work, Kate?
So I applied to, I believe, 8 different schools. And as I started getting my applications back and admissions, I went on visits to each of my schools. I went to South Carolina in March, and I just love the environment there. I love the weather. I looked around campus, definitely looked at the people I saw there, and I looked and said, oh, would I fit in with these people? Are these people like me? Or my tour guide, oh, did I like them? How was the tour? How did that affect me? I went to an admitted students day also. So a lot of the kids that I was with, I'd be possibly going to school with next year, and everyone was super outgoing, welcoming, and I just really felt a sense of community there. So that's overall why I chose South Carolina.
Awesome. Sam, what about your major? How did you pick chemistry?
I chose chemistry because all throughout high school, I've always taken science-based classes. I've taken a few business classes here and there, but I always knew that science classes were interested me most, and that's what I knew that I kind of wanted to do. And everyone out always is like, oh, I'm just a business major and business major. That's what everyone these days does. And I think that is important because there obviously is so many job opportunities for that. But I knew that I would do something in the business field, but I knew that if I wanted to go to school and I wanted to enjoy what I was doing, I was going to have to do a science-based major. And that's why I chose chemistry, because I did also similar to Kate. I took AP Chem junior year, and it was really fun. I really liked the teacher, and I thought I was pretty good at it. So I thought that might be an easier thing to go into. And I do want to do pharmaceuticals because I think that in pharmaceutical sales is a way to rope the business and the science together, so then I can get a job somewhere with still science, but also business-esque a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's awesome. And Megan, how about you? How did you pick your major and also where you're going to school?
So I kind of started looking at schools and kind of looked at the bigger picture of what I wanted out of a school. And when I was applying and touring, I knew I wanted to be a little bit further from home, and I knew that I wanted kind of that warmer weather, a big SEC school, big rah rah. And I went on a tour fall of my junior year to the University of Tennessee, and I fell in love with the campus, the people there, and just the overall environment. And so I kind of always knew that I wanted to go there, but I tried to keep an open mind through the college application process. But I ended up being able to have the opportunity to go there, so I decided there. And then major wise, how I got into engineering was I kind of always enjoyed the engineering and design process. And throughout high school, I took Lake Zurich offers a lot of engineering courses. And as I went through those, I just like fell more and more in love with the process. And I knew that I wanted to continue that interest through college and continue doing something that I enjoyed. And so I decided to do that on the exploratory track so I can kind of figure out like a specific major as I go through school.
That's awesome. And Sam, I didn't ask you, why did you pick University of Illinois?
I have known for a while. My sister goes there right now. She'll be a senior when I'm going to be a freshman. And so I've gone there a lot. I've gone with her like a ton of times and visited and gone to football games. And like, I knew that I didn't want to go super far. And so even the schools I applied to 9 schools, but I knew that I didn't really want to go super far. So I had to like limit my options that were like where I could go and still like be close-ish to home. But I went to Illinois and I just think it's like a perfect fit. I just feel like it's also an easier option instead of having to travel far and go super far and whatever. And also being with my sister would be super fun because I'm really close with her. And they also do have a really good like science. They do have a really good business. So if I do choose to either minor in business or do whatever with that, that'd be like really good moving forward. But I just, it was kind of an easier option.
Awesome. I love hearing all of you, the majors that you chose. It always has something to do with what all three of you loved or liked or were good at. And I oftentimes, when people ask, like, I have no idea what to major in college or what kind of job I want, I'm like, well, first of all, what are you interested in, or what do you love studying, or what do you love to do? Because that's always the first start. So it sounds like you all has some kind of, attachment to what you're majoring in, which is awesome to hear, and kudos to you. And it's also pretty cool. You all picked schools very differently. Like, Megan, you wanted to be far away, you wanted SEC experience, where Sam, you wanted to stay close and to be with your sister. And for anyone listening, there's no one answer for everyone to follow. You have to figure out what you're going to grow in that environment. So it's pretty cool that you all have different stories and different futures ahead. So thanks for sharing that. Let's go a little bit and talk about when you were applying to colleges. I know Sam and Megan, you said 8 and 9 colleges. Kate, I'm not sure how many colleges you applied to, but Sam, we'll start with you. What was that college application process like? And during the time frame, I'm sure you started, junior year, even considering schools. How did you feel during that time?
Yeah, it is definitely super stressful because you like choose the schools, oh, I'm going to apply to these schools. And then you hear about like other people applying to different schools. So you're like, maybe I should apply there. And then you look at it and each school requires something different and more like time and effort, like little small essay, but they take so much longer than you would expect. And the whole Common App, which I know we all three use, like with filling out the activities, it's like all a certain format and it like is really draining, honestly. But it is it is worth it now looking back because it is a good thing to have your options open and be able to see the places you can get in and like realize the places you could go and the things you could do. And I think it's important to like I would always encourage people to apply to like even if you don't think you're going to go to a school, like you never know. Like I would apply even if you have the smallest interest because you never know what if you visit and you love it and then you didn't apply to it. Like there's just so many like small things that could happen, and I would definitely encourage. It is a lot of work. It is definitely
Yeah.
a lot of work, but in the end it's worth it.
Megan, how about you?
I kind of did mine a little bit differently. I worked with a private college counselor, so I started and had a goal to finish all of my college apps before school started senior year, just to kind of help myself in school, knowing that it is a lot of stress and it is a lot to take on. Because I think, similar to what Sam said, it is a very stressful time and it's really easy to forget and lose that everyone else around you, all of your close friends, or a majority, if they decide to go to college, are also going through a very similar experience. And you kind of like almost lose sight of just like the bigger picture of being around people, and you figure it out. And it's definitely stressful and it definitely is a lot of time and work. But I think for me personally, doing mine before school started was a big help overall.
That's awesome. Kate, how about you?
I think it was definitely a stressful process overall. I think we can all agree on that part for sure. But I think you also have to give yourself grace in it. I feel like a lot of people were really stressed about it. Like when you're talking with your friends about it, it makes you more stressed out. Keep it separate, honestly. Like everyone's going through the same thing. You have to realize that and give your friends grace, give people around you grace. Just realize, like, oh, we're all in this together. It's not like, oh, you're the only one stressed out about where am I going to apply? What am I going to do? What am I going to write for this short essay? But everyone's going through it. So I feel like in the moment, that was kind of hard to realize. But now looking back, I'm like, oh, we all had to do that. We all were feeling the same thing. So you're definitely not alone in it, I feel like is a big part of the college application process.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you all in a minute if you could change one thing about the college process, admission process, what would it be? But I would say this is probably one of the first, uncomfortable and challenging things you're going to have in your life. And I think, Kate, your comment on give yourself grace and give other people grace. Everyone's going to always be at a different point of their journey, even when you get to have a job, right, in the companies you work for, and everyone has different progress and different shapes and sizes and forms of that. So always give people grace. And if we were all the same, I tell people all the time, it'd be a pretty boring world. So help people grow and help people continue to, meet them where they're at versus having the same answer for everyone is definitely something that I think, you all are commenting on, but should continue as you evolve as students and then obviously as professionals. So let's go back to my question. If you could change something about the college process, the admissions process today that you think there's no use for it, it's a waste of time, it caused too much stress, what would that be? So Megan, let's start with you. If you could change something about the admission process, what would it be?
Um, I think if I could change one thing, it would be to make the process a little bit more streamlined because similar to what Sam said, every school is different. Every school has different essays. Some schools you have to enter your grades differently into different programs. And during the most stressful times of when everything was due, it was very hard to keep track of that to make sure, am I missing anything? Do I have this all done? So I think I would just want to make the process a little bit more universal.
Yep. It's a good point. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, going on with that, like certain schools will make their applications like more, not even like harder, they'll just make it more work to do and more things to fill out to like try and get rid of the people or like rule out the people that don't
Yeah.
actually for sure want to go there. And I think that's just like obviously it helps like the application people because there'll be less applications and they'll narrow it down to people that only really want to like truly go to that school. But I also think it like, when people see that in the application, they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm not gonna apply there." And then they, like, lose that opportunity of possibly going to a school that they would love. Like, it just is not fair to certain people, and, like, I know a lot of, like Megan had the whole her counselor to narrow everything out for her and, like,
Mhm.
help her with everything, but I know people don't have that, and I know, like, filling out the Common App, like, there's certain ways to do things and, like, things that people don't really tell you, and you just kind of have to figure it out on your own. And I think that also isn't fair for people that don't really know, like if they don't if you have people around them that are applying to colleges and they're kind of just doing it on their own, they end up getting like the underhand because they just aren't like told or really like shown how to do specific things on these applications.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kate, how about you? What would you change?
I wish that colleges were a little bit more transparent with what they exactly want. I know specifically for our year and the upcoming year, a lot of colleges are starting to only consider um, applicants who submitted their ACT score. But I know when a lot of people were applying, they didn't see that or know that. So I know people got waitlisted, deferred, rejected, etc., because they
Mm,
didn't submit their ACT score. And if you look into it a little bit more, I mean, people talk everywhere, Reddit, anything like that. Kids, sometimes it's, oh, I submitted my ACT score, and that's maybe why I got considered more heavily for the spot. So going off that, I wish colleges were a little bit more transparent. I know some colleges require it, but the colleges that don't, I know some people were like, "Oh, I'm not going to submit it," and it actually ended up hurting them, helping them. Like it's just very confusing on that front, I feel like.
All very good points. I think there is a level, I agree, it has to be more universal and more transparent. Like, let's not make it harder on the, 17, 18-year-olds that are trying to accomplish all this. Let's maybe have the universities or the admission counselors, have a little bit more of a participation in this and take on some of that work. I agree with all of you. And a lot of people, your age, they don't even know what major that they're going to declare or they want to work in. I think it's awesome that all three of you have an idea, but imagine going to college and not having any idea what you want to do. How do you even pick that college? So, that's overwhelming independently, and then you have the whole college process on top of it. Do you think, knowing what you know now for your college admissions process, is there anything you'd go back in high school and do differently to either make the college admissions process easier for you or just make the overall, like, hitting some of the requirements of admissions easier? Is there anything you change in high school knowing what you know now? And maybe Kate, we'll start with you.
I wish I wouldn't have crammed things so much. I did take the ACT earlier than the date we all take it in school, but I didn't start putting effort in until I really realized, oh, I want to go here. Oh, I'm looking at this college, looking at the stats and whatnot. So, junior year, going into senior year summer, I studied for the ACT all summer long, which was horrible, obviously. But I wish I just did things a little bit earlier. And people tell you that for sure, but you don't really listen to them until you're in the position. So I wish I just did things a little bit earlier instead of procrastinating it or just saying, oh, I'll be fine. It's okay. Just because I didn't know where I wanted to go yet.
Yeah. Sam, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. I also did the ACT tutoring pretty early, but then it's so hard once you do it so early that's like the time in between. You're supposed to keep studying for it and doing like the practice stuff, but it's just so hard when there's so much else going on. And even like doing it during the summer when there's so many summer activities, like it's just so hard to keep up with that. And I do think that like I definitely crammed my like essay stuff. Like I was finishing my Illinois short essays the night of Halloween, which was the night before they were due. But it were all worked out fine. But I probably also did overthink them more than the application people ever look at them. Like I was trying to change every specific word to make it like seem like something, and I'm sure in the process it didn't end up mattering.
Or it did. You don't know that. I mean,
You're
maybe
right.
because you
It might
took you
have.
maybe because you took that extra step, right? That extra step made it that much different. Or maybe if it was a tie between you and someone, it was a differentiator. So I think,
You're right.
you made the comment earlier, that person that goes above and beyond in that college admission process, or even when you become professionals in a work environment, everyone is kind of at the same starting point, and then how do you differentiate yourself with the little things is something that probably will be a theme that you will need to continue throughout your life. It never gets easier. I hate to break it to y'all, but like this is just the start, and you just got to take it in stride. To Kate's point, give yourself some grace, because there will be continual things that you get bombarded with, and you have to continue to navigate and figure those out. So give yourself all each grace, because there's a lot of cool things ahead, but there's a lot of feelings of being uncomfortable, and that's okay. Like it's boring to know all the answers all the time. So this is just the beginning. So maybe Megan, to you, the same question.
I think I would change how I looked at the process after I finished my applications, because after I finished my applications, because I finished them so early, I just had to sit and wait.
Uh,
And I was stuck waiting. I would hear back from a couple schools here and there, but I know specifically for Tennessee, I had to wait until right before Christmas. And it was a very long semester managing the stress of school and the stress of waiting to hear back. I wish I just told myself that it's all going to work out and you need to take a step back and relax a little bit.
how did you all manage the stress during this time, the waiting game and the application? Sam, you waited till last minute to do the essays. How did you all manage stress? And then maybe not just in the admissions process, how you manage stress, but overall, like when you're taking hard classes or when you had challenging obstacle in front of you, how do you all manage stress? So maybe Kate, we'll start with you on how you manage stress and how did you manage it through this admissions process?
Honestly, one thing that did keep me going was we're all in a friend group together. We've been friends with the same people for a long time. I don't even know how many years, a while though. But on the weekends where there'd be a football game and then we'd all hang out, I don't know, moments like those kind of realize like it's senior year, have fun. Like this is supposed to be fun. So it's not necessarily how I managed it, but it helped me manage it.
Yep. No, I agree. Sam, how about you? How did you manage the stress?
I think I managed the stress by my fall was super busy. I was playing club soccer. I was working as much as I could. And then I also did have in school with I definitely took harder classes senior year than most people did, which was kind of I don't know how I feel about it, but I think it was worth it now. But I think keeping myself busy was best thing because the time that I did have for school, I wasn't like, I always did school in the like time I gave myself for school because there wasn't time where I was like, oh, I'll do it later. Like I didn't have the later. So I just had to do school and I forced myself to do it in the like short times that I could.
Yeah. Megan, how about you?
I think I normally struggle with the stress management side of
Mm,
life, but I think finding something in a specific time of day that was for me really helped. And junior year, I really discovered like taking a class and finding a 45-minute block during your day of just something that you're going to enjoy, whether it's a ceramics class or like this year I took a class working in 3D print, just like something that was
yeah.
non-academic to give myself a break during the day. And then I think similar to what Kate said, finding the smaller moments in the bigger part of the year and looking forward to the small things on the weekends and the things coming up short term helped me get through the long term.
Yeah, a couple of things when I interviewed some recent college graduates that are just starting their jobs, I asked them the question, one thing that got them through everything and or one thing they would change, and it was always their friends and their support group. And the one thing they would change is they wish they would have taken more time to appreciate the small stuff, to hang out with the friends on the weekends and not always 100 miles a minute studying all the time. And that's what they there's a common theme there that people wish they would have just given themselves a little bit more time to enjoy along the way versus always having like that end goal in mind. So I think your comments are aligned with that thinking. So let's go a little bit when you think about your college experience. Everyone has this idea and they create this perfect image of what college is going to be like. And everyone's super excited about it. So maybe talk the audience through what you all are most excited about when you're going to college and what you think your experience and your day to day will be like. So Megan, let's start with you.
I think for me, my day to day will be very busy because I am in a major that requires, taking those harder classes right out of the gate. So I think I'll be very busy with school. I also plan on rushing in the fall and joining a sorority. So I hope that I meet great people and I hope I meet people very similar to the relationship that I have with my close friends here at home, and I hope that I can expand my circle and continue to also do activities that I enjoy.
Awesome. Sam, what are you thinking about that college experience? What is it going to be like?
Yeah, I'm really excited to just go and meet new people and just like I think going to school is going to college is such a different environment than it is here because we're all friends and we have our friend group, but it's also the same people we've been with for so many years. And I think a big part of going to school and like going to college is finding new people and finding new interests that you have and like living on your own is also definitely a big part of that. And I think some people don't expect what's that like entails, but I'm just really excited to meet new people and have fun.
Awesome. Kate, how about you?
Going off both Megan and Sam, exactly the same thing. I hope to create a sense of community so far away from home, meet new people, learn different things. I feel like Megan can agree with this that going to schools so far away and in the South, there will definitely be maybe a little bit of culture shock, but I'm almost excited for it in a way. I want to meet new people. Like I've lived in Illinois my whole life, same with the girls. Like we've all been here for so long, but I want to see new things and meet new people, have new experiences. So I'm really excited for that.
So I'm going to share a funny story. So my daughter, she's 23 now. She went to University of Alabama, and we grew up in Illinois too. And so after like the first few months that she came home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, she started saying y'all. And it's like she lived there forever. And then she's like, "How y'all doing?" I'm like, "Oh wow, we got Southern real quick." And so ever since then, though, she now lives in Tennessee. She still has the y'all thing. And then every time I picked her up from the plane, because it's 13 hours driving, so she flew home a lot for holidays, the girl would never have any, she just have shorts on and like a sweatshirt and flip-flops. And I'm like, you have to wear like pants and socks, and it's freezing here. So she definitely acclimated to the culture and the weather. But one thing is the football is something like SEC football is, and University of Illinois, obviously, Sam, is Big Ten is all awesome football schools. But when we went to the first football game, it was Parents Weekend, and she's like, "Mom, you can't wear like jeans and a t-shirt. It's not like Midwest football. Like you have to dress in like fancy, nice clothes, like you're going to church, and it has to be red and white, and it has to be a skirt." I'm like, hold on, what are we doing? Like, I didn't understand it. And then when I went there and I saw like just this beautiful tailgating and these people dressed like it was literally almost like a wedding. But that's kind of what they hold as their priority. And it was just such a cool experience. So I think you're all in for something different. And it's really cool that you're willing to do that and accepting of that. And now we have a little bit of Southern in us because my daughter's still in Tennessee. So it's fun to have that piece of it and adapt to that. So I'm going to go to a topic that I've been talking about a lot, which is AI. And you all have different majors, right? I'm curious if you've thought about your major, how do you think AI will impact your major or your job? And if you don't have the job yet, that's fine. But or do you even consider AI when you think about like your future plans? So maybe Megan, we'll start with you.
I think in the field of engineering, I mean, AI is being constantly engineered and developed, and I think it will be a big part of my future. I also plan, though, I talk to my parents about this a lot because they ask me the same thing. And I told them that people are always gonna have to be around coming up with new ideas and being there to approve things, and I think that even though it might be a crucial part of my career, I don't think it will take over my career, which is also why I chose engineering.
Yep.
So I'm kinda looking forward to also seeing how that changes my future career.
Yeah, I actually had someone say this that they're like, "Aren't you worried if I did I planned to do pharmaceutical sales?" And they're like, "Aren't you worried AI would take that over?" And I was like, I mean, if you're thinking of I'm the one going to the doctor's offices and selling these medications to like these doctor's offices, you could like, how could AI? If sales is really like one-on-one and it's about connections and forming that, and I don't think that AI could totally take that over because having those connections and like those personable conversations with people are definitely like what AI isn't. So I think I'm not super worried about it taking over, but I do think in the like pharmaceutical part with all that, like that could definitely be like a big change in the future as it keeps developing.
For sure. Kate?
I agree with Sam totally. I think yes, it's a concern and everyone's having it right now for sure, seeing how fast AI is evolving. But in my opinion, nothing beats a personal one-on-one conversation. Nothing beats talking to someone face to face, anything like that. So yeah, it's concerning for sure. But I think in the long run, if you're serious about what you want to do, I don't think anything can take it over. I think it can only help.
Yeah, I agree with all your perspectives. I would say that my biggest advice, I mean, I'm 52, I'm experienced professional. I'm in corporate healthcare too, Sam. So I would say AI is here to stay. I would say I'm glad to hear you guys know that you have to integrate with it. It will enhance what you do. I agree, Megan, with your comments. You will still need someone to critically think and clinically connect the dots and the output of AI. You still need the implementation and the execution of that data, of that information. And so a couple pieces too is, Sam, I do see, like, from a physician perspective, they use something called Open Evidence, and it's an AI tool. They provide the patient's symptoms. The output of the AI tool gives the possible diagnosis, and then the AI tool, once the physician confirms, gives the possible treatments. And so I would say sales will be different in the pharmaceutical world in a few years. And, think about things futureless in future state. Like, where would sales come in? Is it more like a strategic partnership conversation that you would have with a physician, right? Is it more disease state management? I think sales will look different, and really push yourself to learn in college and keep up with that, because 4 years from now, when you all graduate, or 5 years from now, that world's going to be very different. So don't go to college and think about what you think you know was yesterday. Think about in the future, taking AI, how your jobs will be different. And I strongly urge each of you to do something like a certification or a minor in AI, because I see the people graduating that have any kind of accreditation for AI, that could be the difference of getting hired in the future. And it'll also help you critically think, and being able to use that skill set in college and then transferring that into your profession. You'll have a huge leg up, and this is just my personal opinion. And I already see that today in the workforce. There's huge variability of people that hate it. They think it's going to replace their job. And then I have people to the other extreme that are super integrated. They're leading my work groups. They have all these great ideas, and they just want to implement it everywhere. So it's meeting people where they're at. But for you all, I would definitely think about everything you think about in the future, because AI changes things so quickly today for us. So I just would say, as a recommendation, to focus on that. So one, maybe last couple comments to wrap up. If you were to give someone advice, knowing all the things that you know now, graduated high school, if you could go back to your freshman self in high school and you could give a piece of advice to that person, or to anyone listening that's navigating through high school, what's that one piece of advice that you would give them? And it doesn't have to be just to the college admissions process. It can be anything going back in high school that you wish that you knew before you started your high school journey. So Kate, we'll start with you on that question.
I think, to summarize it, quality over quantity. I think when you walk into high school, the middle schools are combining so many new people. You think you have to be friends with everyone. Oh, that friend's friends with that person. Oh, I have to be friends with them too now. But I think it's so much better if you have a close group of friends by your side throughout high school and you keep them close. I think that really makes a difference for so many people, instead of trying to please everyone, trying to be friends with everyone. People aren't going to like you. That's the end of the, like, that just happens. But I think it's so much easier if you have your close friends by you. You have them, you stick with them. You don't need to be friends with everyone, honestly. I think that's my big thing.
I love it. I love it. I say that all the time. That's why I love it. I'm like, you don't have to be friends with everyone, but you have to be respectful with everyone and kind, but you don't have to be friends and spend time with that
Yeah,
person.
agree.
So
Yeah.
Sam, how about you? What would you go back to your freshman self or tell people as a piece of advice?
Yeah, going on that, I think just like not closing yourself off to people, like going to school and just talking to people in your classes, and just like, yeah, you don't have to be best friends with them, but give people the time of day and have a conversation and be nice. And I think that is like what like is it's all about, is just talking to this whole new group of people freshman year, and like just like finding your group and whatever that like entails. But I also think going to like, hanging out with your friends as much as possible. Like, freshman year, it's like the classes, you think they're that hard, but they're probably not that hard. Like, and I
Yeah,
think, like, spending time with your friends and, like, going and, like, making as many memories as you could is very important.
I agree. Megan, how about you?
I think I would go back and tell myself to try everything that you think you might wanna do. You never know what people you're gonna meet, and you never know what opportunities may come from just trying that one thing. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to continue doing it, but you never know if you didn't try. And I think, very similar to what Kate and Sam said, talk to everyone. Like, sometimes, even though you might have like your close group of friends, I didn't really have many classes with a lot of my close friends in high school, but some of my best friends I ever met were just like school friends, like ones that I met through classes. So I think just talking to everyone, being personable goes a long way and especially made a difference in my high school experience.
Awesome. All right, one last question for y'all. I got my southern twang. So, if you could pick one word that you feel about your future, what would that one word be in terms of a feeling? So, that one word that you feel for your future, what would it be? Kate, we'll start with you.
I think, I mean, it's a broad word, but exciting. I'm really excited. I feel like it can be scary. And I think a lot of people before we leave, they're like, oh, I'm really scared to go to school. And that makes sense. I am too. I think we all are a little bit because we don't know exactly what to expect, but be more excited. Go into it with a good mindset. I feel like that's kind of what I'm trying to do. But yeah, that's what I would say.
That's awesome. Sam?
I would say curious
Mm,
because there's so many things could happen. You can't predict the future, and like you probably have no idea what's to come. So I'm just kind of curious about what everything is
I
in the
love it.
future.
Megan?
Kate initially took my word of exciting, but I think for me, it's kind of all framed up into anticipation and kind of seeing everything and kind of setting everything up and registering for everything has me really like anticipating getting there. And I'm just really excited for all the new experiences and all the things coming up.
I think those are all great words: anticipation, excitement, and curiosity. And again, keep those words with you, like as you get through the college journey and then your professional journey, because those are definitely key themes that help you throughout your life. So thank you for sharing that. So this was a great episode. You all, I wish you all the best, but I feel like you don't need a lot of luck because you seem you have the right mindset. Like I love hearing the confidence from each and every one of you. It's refreshing for someone. Why I do what I do is to help women, give them confidence, and I definitely see the confidence with you three. So I wish you all the best of luck in your college journey, and thanks for doing the graduation special podcast. Once again, this is Christine Hummel on Route to Rising, and thank you to Kate, Sam, and Megan for being on my show today.
Thank you.